welcome back to my channel. So today we have a video all about my top Penhaligon's fragrances for spring. Spring is starting to rear its head here in the UK. We have better weather, some of the little crocuses and the daffodils have come out, and it's starting to feel like a different season, which means that it could be time for a fresh new spring perfume. So I'm going to be taking you through my favourite ladies perfumes for spring from Penhaligon's and giving you an overview of those fragrances. If you're new here, then hello, welcome. We are all about perfumes here, so check out my hundreds and hundreds of other perfume videos. I have one going through lots of the ladies fragrances from Penhaligon's, so I'll leave that link down below. And if you're a regular but you haven't hit subscribe yet, I know lots of people think they're subscribed but they actually aren't, do check that red subscribe button and hit subscribe and show your support and get involved in the comments down below. And as always, I will leave links to where you can get these perfumes I talk about in the UK, US, Europe. Cool, so I'm not going to go over the brand Penhaligon's again, I did that in my other video, but essentially they are a beautiful British brand. They have their flagship original shop here in Covent Garden in London, and they have been around since the 1800s. They have 2 royal warrants, royal seals of approval, and they make beautiful, beautiful fragrances. Came in this beautiful bag with the Penhaligon's wrapping and the scarf, really pretty. So I'm going to start with one called The Favourite. This came out last year. It's one of their newest ones, and the whole sort of marketing campaign around it was so pretty with this lovely blush pink and the gold accents. You see the royal warrants there on the top. The box is just so beautiful, feels really exquisite, really high-end, would be such a really nice gift. I know we have Mother's Day coming up, of course. And then inside, the fragrance just looks so cool with that big pink velvet bow on. Reminds me of the Marie from the Aristocats, if anyone is a Disney fan. And the Penhaligon's bottles are their original bottles they used, you know, hundreds of years ago. Have Penhaligon's stamped on the back and this like cool glass ball on the top. So they've kept true to the same bottle that they have always used. So I think that would be pretty, so pretty on the dressing table, right? So what does it smell like? So when I saw how pink the branding was and stuff, I thought maybe it was going to be rose or, I don't know, raspberry or something that's pink coloured. It's actually not so much pink coloured things that are in it. It's actually quite a violety, slightly powdery, feminine smell. It has mimosa in, freesia iris, orange, so I'd say it's quite fresh, and that's why I'd say it's perfect for springtime, because you're getting those green outdoor floral smells from an English country garden. The sort of iris is coming through, the freesia coming through, very, very feminine, very classic, very universal. Like, I think this could be worn by any age. I'd say more daytime. Spring perfumes to me tend to always be quite daytime because they're that fresh, you know, new flower smell. Then after a while the orange starts to disappear and you get this powdery violet smell. So violets is the main ingredient when you want to make something smell powdery, like the smell of makeup or eyeshadow, that type of smell. So it has that underneath, which of course is a uniquely, you know, female, very feminine associated smell. So I think this is a very female girly perfume, and I guess hence the pink bow and the pink branding, because it is just very womanly and girly. It is an eau de parfum, so I find that even though the projection on this is not heavy, it's not heavy perfume, it does stick around and last. It stays on clothes and your hair. It kind of becomes just like part of your scent, this like clean, feminine, floral, powdery smell, which if someone smelt it on you, perhaps they wouldn't necessarily think it was a perfume. They would just sort of think it's part of your womanly smell of all the different womanly products you're using, if that makes sense. So it's definitely not overwhelming, but it is a good strength being an eau de parfum. So next on my list we have Bluebell. This comes with this really cute packaging. Here the name of the fragrance is on this, cardboard attachment to the bottle. And then I love this bottle, the colour of the liquid is insane. You've got this really vivid blue liquid. I'd say it's stronger colour blue than it looks on the camera. And then of course the bow and the really nice label. I think what's quite cool is all the labels are different with Penhaligons, like sort of customized to the feeling of the fragrance. It's not all the same. So this one, you know, is totally different to the favorite label. Now this one smells very much like a flower in an English country garden. Even though it's called Bluebell, it doesn't actually have bluebell smell in it. It's actually hyacinth, which is the main smell. There's also lots of lily of the valley, viburnum. These are classic, you know, British, exquisite floral smells. I think it was lily of the valley which Kate Middleton wore, had as her wedding bouquet. Very delicate feminine florals, which I personally definitely associate with Great Britain. Underneath though it has a little bit of clove, bit of rose, bit of cinnamon, so it comes across a little bit aromatic, and those notes which are quite strong come through more over time and help it last. I would definitely say that this is stronger than the favourite. It really sticks around. You don't need much of this. And considering it's sort of this blue and everything, you know, it looks like perhaps it's not going to be strong, but it is strong. And it's an eau de toilette, but I would say this performs like an eau de parfum, not like an eau de toilette. Can really smell it on people. And I think if you were to smell this on someone, you'd think perhaps they'd just been out in the garden picking flowers or something. But it's that type of smell. It feels very natural. It's very true to how it actually does smell out in the garden when you're picking flowers. It doesn't smell like a perfume manufactured scent. It smells like a smell of nature. But I think the bottle again is perfect. Love this blue colour. So definitely for someone who wants that green outdoors floral smell, but wants something that's pretty strong that you can really smell on yourself. My next recommendation is one from the Portrait collection. These come in these different boxes. This box is so beautiful. You've got this design on the box. This one's called the Genuine Cousin Flora, and I guess that's Cousin Flora on the front. And it's this sort of thick cardboard with this imprint of this, like a watercolor portrait type thing, like a picture that you'd have on the wall. Really nice. And then it says a sort of story about Cousin Flora on the back. Innocence is a virtue, but crime pays. Flora is courteous to the old, punctual for her riding lessons, and a smiling angel around her mamma. Always the most valuable witness to the mischief of her twin brother Matthew. Her one true virtue, the meticulousness with which she hides her own guilty trail. So I guess we can make of that what we want. They all have this little story. And then the bottle, so the Portrait collection all have a different animal head on the top. So here we have a bird, kind of like, I think maybe a sparrow, that's on the front. And this is a sort of purpley violet coloured liquid, that gold head, which is so shiny, and it's a really heavy bottle, really thick glass. So this one's quite a simple fragrance. It has a fresh citrus note in, but what it also has is ambroxan, which is a synthetic, you know, man-made fragrance note, and it's in a lot of these perfumes that claim to sort of adapt to your personal smell, kind of like Molecule and Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, and it has musk in as well. So I find that this one, you get that hit of citrus at the beginning, and that citrus stays, but you also get this like musky skin scent, like natural, feminine, but very sort of almost cashmere-y scent underneath. And those two things are quite different, the sharpness of the citrus but the warmth of that ambroxan smell. It's definitely quite light. I think it's the lightest of the three. And I think for a sort of spring morning, when you want something quite innocent, quite simple, clean smelling, this is that type of perfume. It definitely fits with the story there in the packaging around a sort of younger girl. It's that type of innocent spring day, waking up, off to play in the garden, cause mischief, but still, you know, mummy's favourite. It's that type of smell. Very classy. Reminds me a bit of some of the Aqua Allegoria fragrances from Guerlain with those citrusy notes. But this is an eau de parfum, so you do get the citrus sticking around, but it's not heavy projection. It's quite close to you. You need to be quite close to be able to smell it. So I'd say it's like a delicate, warm citrus. And then lastly, if you saw my other Penhaligon's video, you will have seen me talk about Impressa. This is part of their Trade Routes collection, so inspired by the, you know, all the trading of the British Empire on the seas in the past. And again, super stunning, beautiful packaging. And this one has this dark green bow. And I'd say perhaps this one could be good more for the evening, or where you really want something that's a bit more complex than the other three, which I think are more daytime. This one is a Chypre classic feminine patchouli with orange in. It smells incredibly similar to Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. Rosy, patchouli, orangey femininity. Very, very feminine, very warm. It's an eau de parfum. So I would definitely say this one, you know, if you want something that people will sort of turn their heads and smell it on you. It's not super heavy, but it's a very classy, distinct, complex scent. When you smell it, you don't automatically think of a particular perfume note. It all mixes together to make its own feminine, floral, I guess fruity with the orange, but not fruity in the sort of tropical way, fruity in the warm way. I wouldn't say it's particularly fresh. It's more just like that Chypre hug that you get from a Chypre fragrance, classic Chypre smell. But I think the name Impressa and this sort of gold on the label is definitely representative of it. It's very much more like a more complex, slightly more grown-up smell. Perhaps you'd wear this for dinner after you've been wearing one of the other ones during the day in the garden or something. But really recommend this as like a really good quality, complex, interesting, feminine smell. Cool, so that's it guys, those are my rundown. Let me know what you think. Have you tried any of these? Do you have them? Let me know in the comments down below. You know I love reading all your comments. But that's it guys, so thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.